Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So you joined me down in the city for this nice little vlog. A bit more relaxed. I've just caught up with a friend. We've gone around to a few places, eating, drinking. No alcohol this time. This is the first time I've gone out and caught up with someone where I haven't had any alcohol. And I feel great for it, so yeah. So the move, going back to England, still going ahead, everything. I have been stressing out about it, more on the financial aspect of it. You know, will I have enough money? That is always a concern, since soon my income where I'm getting my money from will stop, and then I've got to, you know, work everything out and find a place, rent, and then car, and set up everything, set up this forum that I want to do. Yeah, it's just, but I know the money will happen. It's just I've got to work my arse off to get it to work and make the right decisions. But I know I will make wrong ones as well, because that's just going to happen. You can't be perfect. Really nice here though. I'm going to miss Perth. As you can see, it's just beautiful here. And I want to go back to England and get away from this, because it's just too toy town for me. But it is a lovely place when you're just socialising and catching up with people. It does feel very materialistic. Anyway, so yeah, I have been anxious about things, you know, and that's normal. And I think I haven't really been depressed. I just want to get going, if you get what I mean. So like, it's just been, it feels a bit slow. I feel like I could have probably left a little sooner than what I have done. You know, I could have probably left in August. So I would have left about now, but there were other variables, other factors that are out of my control, like selling the house, helping mum out, getting the removalists to come over. I've got to give them a certain deadline or time frame, but you know, at least all the accommodation is booked. I'm starting to talk to people as well in England about meeting up, which is fantastic. I'm just trying to work out where I'm going to sit. I don't want to be around people too much, and there's a few on the walkway there, and there's quite a few people around here as well. You can probably see a group there behind me. So yeah, the friend I just caught up with, so yeah, we were talking about business and what he wants to do, and future endeavours as well, what I've got planned. Because so yeah, the original plan was to just, you know, go over there for a few months, do more travels, and then come back and then see where life takes me. I never had the idea of the forum, the community that I want to build, and the structure, and what it's going to help with the photographic community. I think it's going to be really beneficial, and startups as well I want to do, and none of that can really happen from here. And the reason why I say that is I could do it here, but I know the impact I'm going to have, and also being able to get out there and socialise with people, won't be as good here, because, you know, Perth is just such an isolated city, where going to England, it's just so much more happening, and you know, there's a lot more people in a dense space, and you've got Europe on your doorstep. I've got a lot of friends in Europe, I've got a lot of friends in England. I think I've got more connections and friends over there than I do here in Australia, which is pretty insane. But when you think about it, Australia as a whole is pretty barren. I was trying to think of another word, but I think barren is a good way to describe it, because most of the places, you know, cities and towns, are on the coastline. Dates as well, so yeah, I've booked more accommodation. I think I said about that in my last one. I've also bought new gear. Well, I bought my Canon gear back. When I say that, I realised that my equipment that I was originally going to buy when I got there was more expensive to buy there than here. So I ended up selling my gear, and now I've bought it back. Well, not bought it back, I've bought replacement gear, which is the same gear. Well, one of the lenses is anyway the same. I'm just trying to think where to go, because I don't like talking to the camera in front of people or around people, because I feel weird, especially doing this sort of stuff where it's not structured. And so when I've got a camera in my hand and I'm taking photos, I'm in my own little bubble. When I'm just standing here talking to you, or talking to a camera at the moment, because no one's viewing this at the moment, it's just me, you know, looking at the screen, it feels really odd. But I know a lot of people do this, I'm sure I've got some people looking at me going, what the hell is that person doing? So yeah, I bought some of my camera systems. So my Canon system was originally going to go in the container and ship back to England. But after my recent trip down with my mum down to Margaret River, I had to go at using my Fuji, and I just didn't get on with it. I didn't like it. There were imperfections in the optical quality of the glass, where the edges were soft, and no matter what aperture I used, it didn't really resolve it. Alright, so instead of me just, having a little rant on location there, I want to show you some photographs that I've taken this past year since I got the camera, and I want to show you these for an example, so you can sort of see what I'm getting at. So one of the first images here is when I went up to the Salt Lakes. I think it was Lake Brown earlier on this year. This was a sunrise shoot. I had a very stable tripod at the time. I don't think there was any wind happening when I shot this. The in-body stabilization was turned off, and so was the lens stabilization. So a nice platform to shoot from, which didn't have any problems. In the middle of the image is nice and sharp, but as you see, as I come out to the edges, it starts to fall apart. And even if I go over the Salt Lake, it starts to fall apart out there. But the middle seems to retain the sharpness. This was shot at f11. I was expecting a lot better, image quality and the lens characteristics to perform better when stopped down, but sadly it doesn't seem to. It seems to do it a little bit in the middle, but not towards the edges and the corners. A real bit of a downside, because I plan on selling prints in the future, and I plan on selling big prints. But this, for me, this little problem, if I plan on doing a big print, you will see it and it will be a bit sickly. I know if I had my 5D Mark IV with a 16-35, I can get all of that sharp, no problem whatsoever, because I've done it, I've been there, and same with a Hasselblad, I could do that. It's just weird, the Fuji lens characteristics there. That was just before I sent my camera off for repairs, and I'm pretty sure they replaced all the internals of it. Now I've got my camera back, and I went away on a recent trip. Yeah, I've got the same image problems. So yeah, one of the photos here, we went down to Margaret River, and there's this nice bridge. I've got this nice log leading you into this bridge, and this was shot with the 10-24mm, and the foreground not too bad, leading you in. That was probably about less than a meter away from the corner of the lens. And then, yeah, as it leads up, you can see it's sharp enough. The background is nice and sharp. But as soon as I go to the left of the frame, it starts to fall apart, which is an utter shame, because I know that should be sharp. And this wasn't that long of exposure. It was about 2 seconds. So not too long. I think I used a 6-stop at the time and a polarizer. Didn't be any problems there. And then it's just the same as I go through other frames as well. It's just a real shame. If the corners were sharper and, I didn't have this problem, then I would be shooting on the Fuji X system. Due to this problem, I won't be. I'll be shooting back on the Canon. But for video, it's going to work an absolute treat for. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that bit with you. And when I went along into the city last time I was here, I spoke to one of the guys from Fuji. I told him about the edges being a bit soft, and he said, oh, but the centers are fine. I said, yeah, the centers are sharp, but the corners, and he said, oh, that's normal. And I'm going, well, you're dropping like over $1,000 on a lens, and not corner sharpness isn't ideal. If I plan on doing prints and everything in the future, which I do plan on doing, then I need the optical quality and optical performance to be there. It's not going to mean medium format quality, but yeah, it's less than ideal. That's the reason why I've been going through, my gear lately. I had the Canon 16-35 2.8, the original. That was soft. It was good in the middle, but then it started to fade out on the edges. So I sold that, and then I went to the 17-40. That was good, but it had a little bit of softness in the corners and edges. But I do know the 16-35 f4 LIS is sharp from center to the corners, depending on the aperture. It's been a while since I played with that lens, but I know that is still a lens, and that paired up with my 100-400 is just a match made in heaven. Not sure if I'll get another lens to bridge the gap between the two, maybe like a 24-105 f4, but the version 2, because I know the version 1 suffers really badly for chromatic aberration and fringing and everything. So yeah, it's getting busy over there, so I'm going to start making my way back. But yeah, so what else? So yeah, my Canon's coming with me. That I'm going to go to Brands Hatch with that, take some photos. I do have a new tripod. I think I might have mentioned it. I paid about $115 for this tripod, carbon fibre, light as, not perfect, but for the price I paid for it, I'm over the moon. So yeah, I didn't end up spending hundreds of dollars, which is great, on something that will just get abused. Oh yeah, there's problems currently going on at the moment due to the wars. I'm not keeping up to date with the news and everything, and politics, and yeah, and that's all out of my control. But you know, we're hearing about the flights from Perth to London being affected, and I think one of them was cancelled, which is a bit of a concern. Hopefully it doesn't happen when it comes to me flying out, because yeah, that's just going to delay things. And the way I've booked everything to save myself money is I won't be able to get a refund on anything that I've booked, and I've outlaid about $5,000 so far on hotels and accommodation for about the next, I think, about a month and a bit. So yeah, not cheap. The wind's picking up, but I can't think about that, you know. It is what it is on the day, you know. Might have to take a detour to Singapore for a refuel, but I don't mind that, you know. It's just given me about 4 hours, I think, to fly to Singapore, and then a refuel, which means disembarking from the plane, getting off at the gate, and then just sitting in the gate, and then once the plane's fueled up and it's all past the safety checks, then we just jump back on the plane. It's not like what you have to do typically. You get off the plane and then you exit from that terminal or that gate, and then you have to walk through the airport to find the next gate where your connecting flight is. It'd be none of that, which will be good. Also, I'm sorting out like power things, so I'm trying to keep things as lightweight as possible and as minimal as possible, so there's less problems of failure and less weight. So yeah, I'm just taking my small little suitcase. I'm going to take a little Bluetooth speaker that I've had for ages. I've upgraded my power supply so I can charge my phone and my laptop and everything, and I've also got my little Anker. I think it's about 52 watt hours, so it's a good amount of power, and that will give me power to charge my laptop. It's fast charging as well, 120 watt input. So yeah, my new charger that I've got is 100 watts, so you know, it's a little bit underrated, but that will be able to charge the unit in about 30 minutes or so. I'm always going to have power on the go, and I made sure that I can easily change out the plug, so I've got a UK or Australian. Yeah, you can just unplug it, and you know, it's just the standard connection, so nothing special. Maybe do a video on what gear is coming with me as well, because I think that could be important. You know, what hard drives I'm taking, how I'm packing all my stuff as well, so you can sort of understand how everything will be. I'm definitely nervous, but I'm also so excited, and the possibilities that will be available to me if I choose to take those and go with my gut, or you know, follow and just meet up and network. I need to keep networking. I need to keep meeting people, talking about things, and make me think about what I'm doing and other startups, and linking up partnerships, collaborations. If I don't, you know, if I limit myself to just sticking to my own thing and not meeting up with people that are entrepreneurs and business minded and creative, yeah, I wouldn't have that resource. Everything I'm doing is all self-taught as well. I know I'm going to make mistakes along the way, and I'm welcoming that, you know. I'm not going to make them on purpose, but I know it's definitely going to happen. Yeah, it's how I recover from that and move on and make something better from it, because you know, if you fail, you've done something wrong, and how do you correct that and move on to make it better, to correct for it. I think it's time I catch the train, head back, relax, have something to eat. I haven't eaten much today. I've just had a bit of chicken, honey chicken, and a Coke and a nice tea. Not your conventional tea. It was I can't remember what type of tea it was, but it was lovely. I haven't had tea like that before. I'm always apprehensive about trying new things in case, because it's the autistic side of me, where you like having your comforts around you, but when it comes to things changing, then it feels a bit risky, and you get a bit anxious, and you start to stress out and have panic attacks and stuff, which it can lead to. I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this, and if I don't like it, I don't drink it, you know. And I loved it. It was fantastic, and yeah. But yeah, I spoke to Habib for 3 hours and a bit, so that was fantastic. And when I get to England, I'm definitely going to keep in contact with him, Probably do future trips. He's said about coming to Europe. I'd love to go to Indonesia and places, just explore, see different cultures, different ways of life and meeting people. I wanted to do adventures. Part of me thinks, because of the way I've been brought up and the surroundings, that none of this is, it's all just a pipe dream, it's never going to happen. But with that mentality, of course it's not going to work. I need to keep positive, I need to keep thinking and imagining it and how I would get there for it to work. Anyway, I'm going to sign out here and I will see you all in the next one. Okay, bye for now.